There is one question that has the power to completely shift the balance between a man and a woman. A question so small, so casual, that most men never realize the danger in answering it. It sounds innocent, even playful. But once you respond, you hand over your power without even knowing it. Most men fall into this trap because they're wired to seek approval. But a Stoic man, he never does. Welcome to the Stoic Flame, where we uncover the psychology of strength, control, and inner power. Today, we are going to talk about the one question you should never answer from a woman, and what you should do instead. Imagine this. You're having a good conversation. She's smiling. You're feeling confident. The energy is flowing just right. Then, out of nowhere, she asks, "So, what do you like about me?" Seems harmless, right? But here's where most men fail. They rush to speak. They start listing compliments. You're beautiful. You're funny. You're not like other girls. They think they're being romantic. But in that moment, something subtle yet powerful shifts. You stop being the one she's intrigued by, and you become the one seeking to impress. The mystery disappears, and without mystery, attraction fades. A Stoic man understands this deeply. He knows that when you start explaining your feelings, you give her the blueprint to control them. In Stoicism, emotion isn't the enemy, but losing control of it is. When you express your desire too openly, you hand over your emotional power. You become predictable, and predictability kills attraction. Let's go deeper. When a woman asks you that question, she isn't always looking for validation. Sometimes she's testing you. She's trying to see how easily you're impressed. Are you grounded? Or are you another man swayed by beauty and charm? This test reveals everything about your frame. And a man without frame is like a ship without a compass. Lost, reactive, directionless. The Stoic man doesn't fall for emotional bait. He stays centered. He lets silence speak for him. Because silence is a weapon. If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Those words from Epictetus capture the essence of Stoic composure. The Stoic man doesn't need to prove his intelligence, his emotions, or his intentions. He knows who he is. And because of that, he never rushes to explain himself. When she asks, "What do you like about me?" he simply smiles, maybe looks her in the eye and says, "You'll figure it out." Or, "I don't like easily, I observe first." That response flips the frame instantly. Now she's thinking about you. Now she's curious. You've created an emotional vacuum, and nature hates a vacuum. She starts filling it with thoughts, questions, and desire. You're no longer the one seeking approval. You've become the one she's trying to impress. This is the psychology of attraction. When you explain your desire, you remove tension. But when you hold it, when you stay mysterious, tension grows, and so does attraction. Most men don't understand this because they confuse connection with confession. They think being vulnerable means oversharing. But true vulnerability isn't about words, it's about presence. A calm, composed man says more through silence than another man says in 1,000 sentences. Here's something most people don't realize. Women don't test men to manipulate them. They test to understand them. It's instinctive. They want to know who leads emotionally, who can stay composed under pressure, who can remain calm when everyone else is losing their head. Because that man, the man who doesn't crumble, is rare, and rarity is magnetic. When you stay silent, when you answer with calm confidence, you separate yourself from the crowd. You communicate something powerful without saying it. You're saying, "I don't need your validation, I value your presence, but I don't depend on it." That is emotional strength. That's leadership. Let's take it further. In Stoicism, there's a core idea. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength. The same principle applies in attraction. You can't control how she feels, what she says, or what she asks. But you can always control how you respond. The man who reacts loses power. The man who pauses, thinks, and chooses his response, he commands it. Picture this again. She asks, "What do you like about me?" You pause. There's silence. She leans in slightly, expecting something. You smile faintly and say, "I'm still deciding." That's confidence. That's control. You've now become the challenge. You've created curiosity. She feels drawn to understand you, not because you gave her validation, but because you didn't. A Stoic man never rushes to explain his emotions. He knows that what's understood too quickly loses value. His silence creates tension, and tension fuels desire. He moves slowly, speaks deliberately, and always keeps his emotional energy centered. He's not cold. He's calm. He's not distant. He's deliberate. The truth is, every man at some point will face this kind of test. It might not come in the form of that exact question. But life, people, and relationships will always test your composure. You'll be tested to see if you can hold your ground when someone challenges your ego, to see if you can stay kind without being weak, to see if you can care without losing control. That's what it means to be Stoic. Not emotionless, but emotionally disciplined. When you reach that state, you no longer react. You respond. You no longer chase. You attract. You don't try to prove your worth. You embody it. Your silence becomes magnetic. Your restraint becomes your power. Now remember this. When you reveal less, you create curiosity. When you stay calm, you create safety. When you hold your frame, you create respect. A Stoic man doesn't need to tell people he's confident. They feel it. He doesn't need to say he's strong. They sense it. His energy does the talking long before his words do. So next time she asks that question, don't see it as a trap. See it as an opportunity. A chance to show that you're different, that you're not another man desperate for approval, but a man rooted in self-awareness and emotional control. When you say, "You'll figure it out," you're not being arrogant. You're being centered. You're showing her that your attraction is grounded in choice, not impulse. And that is rare. A final truth. Don't try to make her understand your value. Live it. Don't try to convince her you're different. Let her feel it through your actions. Don't tell her how much you care. Show her through your calm energy and consistent behavior. A Stoic man doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. His silence speaks for him. His composure defines him. His discipline attracts the world toward him without him having to chase. So the next time life tests you, whether it's through a question, a challenge, or a temptation, remember this. The one who speaks less controls more. The one who stays still stands taller. Power isn't in proving. It's in mastering yourself. This is the Stoic Flame. If you felt this message, subscribe for more lessons on inner strength, discipline, and emotional mastery. And remember, fire doesn't shout to prove it's burning. It just burns.